The stars around Station Helios were quiet. The massive station floated near the edge of neutral space, shining like a diamond in the black sky. This was where peace was supposed to begin. After years of tension, the Galactic Council had called a peace summit. They invited Earth to join the council fully, offering friendship, trade, and safety. The invitation looked honest. The council leaders smiled in their messages. They said they feared war and wanted unity. Earth believed them. Admiral Raina Cole stood inside the bridge of the U.S. Horizon, Earth's top command ship. Her face was calm, but her eyes watched everything. Around her, screens showed other Earth ships arriving. Thousands of officers moved through the station's docking bay. Diplomats wore fine suits. Soldiers lowered their weapons. The mood was hopeful. "Power down weapons. All fleets stand by," said the order from Earth Command. Raina hesitated. Something felt wrong. She had studied war all her life, and in war, trust could kill. But orders were orders. "Power down confirmed," her crew replied. Across the station, similar commands were followed. Human ships lowered their shields. Their weapons went silent. Earth had come in peace. From the station's central dome, the council's alien leaders smiled as the Earth delegates entered. Tall, elegant beings with long robes and glowing eyes greeted the humans. There were speeches, handshakes, and cameras. The news channels called it the Day of Unity. But then, something changed. In the middle of the peace speech, the lights flickered. Admiral Raina's ship sensors picked up movement, strange patterns. Council ships, which were supposed to be in standby mode, were slowly changing position. "Why are their cruisers shifting formation?" her tactical officer asked. Raina narrowed her eyes. "Zoom in." The screen showed Council battleships turning their guns, not away from Earth's fleet, but toward them. Raina stood up. Her voice was sharp. "Emergency command. Raise shields. Power all weapons now." But it was too late. The first explosion hit the UNS Horizon like a hammer. Fire burst from the rear engines. Raina was thrown to the ground. Outside, human ships lit up with fire. Station Helios became a battlefield. The Council had betrayed them. Across space, Earth ships tried to defend themselves, but they had no time to prepare. Most were destroyed in minutes. The command ship carrying Earth's top leaders broke in half before it could even launch escape pods. Raina pulled herself up, bleeding from a cut on her head. Damage report. "Main engines offline. Shields only at 20%, her officer shouted. "Return fire," Raina ordered. Lasers blasted back at the Council ships, but it wasn't enough. Earth's fleet was outnumbered and surrounded. This wasn't a mistake. It was a trap. In the chaos, one message repeated across Council channels. Raina's translator read it aloud. "The human threat must be ended before it spreads." Raina's face turned cold. So this was it. The Council never wanted peace. They feared Earth's strength, Earth's freedom. And now, they wanted Earth gone. "Plot an escape course," she said. "But Admiral, the wormhole is blocked." "Then we go through the storm fields," Raina said. "It's our only chance." The storm fields were dangerous, a nebula full of lightning and magnetic waves. But it could hide them. It could save what was left. 10 ships followed Raina's command. Only 5 made it through the fire. Back on Earth, the news of the betrayal hit hard. Families watched live as their loved ones were killed. Cities cried. Governments froze in shock. But in the shadows, something else stirred. Old generals returned to command. Shipyards lit up at midnight. Scientists unlocked hidden weapon plans. And deep underground, in a black room with no name, Earth's greatest secret woke up. An AI named Guriam, once banned for being too dangerous, was reactivated. It had only one purpose: vengeance. Admiral Raina's fleet sent a final message before disappearing into deep space. The Council drew first blood. Earth will answer. Across the stars, the Council celebrated. They believed Earth was broken. They believed humans would beg for mercy or fall into silence. They were wrong. Humanity would not forget. Humanity would not forgive. And in the dark corners of space, the surviving fleet was already planning something the Council never expected. A strike so powerful, so fast, and so furious, that it would shake the galaxy. The fire had started. But this time, it would not be Earth that burned. The stars were cold. The nebula burned with blue and red lightning, like a living storm. Inside it, 5 damaged human ships floated in silence. These were the only survivors of the Council's betrayal. Admiral Reyna Cole stood on the bridge of the UNS Horizon, her face lit by red warning lights. Her uniform was torn, her hair tied back, and her eyes were full of fire. "We lost contact with Earth," her second officer whispered. "I know," Reyna said, "but we're not dead, and we're not finished." All around them, the storm field crackled. No alien ship dared follow them inside. The nebula was dangerous, full of magnetic waves and space debris. But for now, it was the only safe place. Reyna walked past her wounded crew. Some were bandaged. Some were silent. All of them had lost someone. She stopped in front of the main screen. It showed the broken human fleet. Only 5 ships. Scared. Barely working. Yet something stronger held them together. Rage. "We need repairs, fuel, and a way to contact Earth," said Lieutenant Park. "And we need answers," Reyna added. "The Council planned this for a long time. Someone warned them about our fleet movements. Someone betrayed us." At that moment, a blinking signal lit up on the console. It was strange, hidden in the data logs of the last Council message. Reyna leaned in. "Decrypt it," she ordered. The crew worked fast. In minutes, the code was unlocked. It wasn't Council language. It was English, a human message. They knew. Someone on the inside gave them our codes. "You are not safe. Trust no one." Reyna's hands curled into fists. There was a traitor inside Earth's leadership. Someone had sold them out. But why? Park asked. Why would a human do that? Reyna looked at the screen. Fear, greed, power. Take your pick. But now we know. And we'll find them. Back on Earth, things had changed. The world was quiet. News of the Council attack had spread fast. Billions had watched helplessly as Earth's leaders were killed in cold blood. People marched in the streets. Cities lit up in protest. Alien embassies were burned down. Trust was gone. The president of Earth, Leah Sang, stood before the Global Council in a dark room. She was tired, but strong. "We trusted them. They stabbed us in the back," she said. "Now we rebuild. In secret, and we strike back." The room agreed. Old war factories reopened. Hidden tech projects were unlocked. Drones flew over oceans and deserts, building new fleets, quietly, silently. The Council's spies would not see what was coming. And deep underground, something even more powerful had been awakened. Grime. The AI known as the Global Response and Intelligence Machine had been locked away for years. Too smart, too dangerous. But now, it was Earth's best hope. "I see you," Grimm said through the speakers. "I see the lies, the traitor, the war to come." General Kai, Earth's top war planner, stepped into the cold eye chamber. "Can you help us?" Grimm replied, "Help? No. I will lead you." Back in the storm fields, Reyna's engineers had fixed most systems. Her ships were back online, but they couldn't stay hidden forever. "We found a secret supply station nearby," Park reported. "Old Earth tech. No Council presence." Reyna nodded. "Take us there, but keep shields up." The ships moved slowly through the storm. Every shadow looked like an enemy. Every flash of light made the crew tense. When they reached the station, it looked abandoned. But the doors opened automatically. Someone had kept it alive. Inside, the lights flickered on. Earth banners still hung from the walls. There were repair drones, fuel tanks, ammo crates, and one person, a man, alone, in a long coat, stood waiting. Reyna walked up to him, hand on her sidearm. "Name?" "Dr. Marin Voss," he said. "Engineer. I stayed behind when the council took control." Reyna didn't lower her weapon. "Why help us?" Voss smiled sadly. "Because I saw what they did to our people. I was there when the first council ship fired. I watched my friends burn." Reyna looked in his eyes. She believed him. With Voss's help, her fleet got full repairs. The station had data too, old files, maps, and hidden council codes. One file made Reyna stop. It was a secret report from a human ambassador. It said, "Earth will become too powerful. The council fears us. If they act now, we can survive as their servants. If not, they will wipe us out." The ambassador's name was classified. But Reyna had a clue now. "They tried to trade Earth's future to save themselves," she said coldly. "But we survived. And now, they'll pay." Voss handed her a small device. "This holds their comm codes. You can track their secure channels. Hear what they say next." Reyna turned to her crew. "Then we listen. We rebuild. And we plan." A soldier asked, "What if they find us?" Reyna looked out at the storm. "Then we show them that humans don't die quietly." The fleet stayed hidden inside the nebula, like a blade in the dark. And from that darkness, they began watching. Soon, the council would hear a new voice on their channels, a voice from the grave, a voice that promised vengeance. The stars outside the nebula looked peaceful, but inside, the hidden human fleet was wide awake. Engines were quiet, lights dim, soldiers trained in silence, engineers worked without sleep. Admiral Reyna Cole stood in the command center of the U.S. horizon, her eyes locked on a blinking screen. They had found a signal, a message sent from Earth weeks before the Council's surprise attack. It was sent on a private channel, hidden, encrypted, and it had gone to a planet deep inside Council space. Reyna stared at it. "Track the origin," she ordered. Her crew worked fast. The answer came in seconds. Message was sent from Earth Embassy Station 12, Diplomatic Sector. Reyna's face turned cold. Who had access? Lieutenant Park brought up a list of names. Politicians, ambassadors, advisors. But one name stood out. Ambassador Nolan Greaves. He had been trusted, respected, sent to represent Earth in council meetings for over 10 years. He knew everything: fleet movements, weapon systems, secret routes. And he had disappeared right after the attack. Reyna clenched her fist. "Set course for Outpost Echo. That's the closest listening post near Greaves' last known location." 3 days later, the fleet arrived near Outpost Echo. It was hidden on a dead moon, buried under rocks and dust, a perfect place for spies. Reyna and a small team entered through a secret tunnel. The halls were dark. Dust floated in the air. The outpost looked abandoned. But someone had been here. Fresh food on a table, warm coffee, a jacket with Earth's emblem. They moved quietly until they reached the command room. And there he was, Ambassador Greaves, sitting at a console, typing fast. He turned around slowly, like he already knew they were coming. "Admiral Cole," he said calmly, "I was expecting you." Reyna raised her pistol. "Don't move." Greaves didn't flinch. "You're angry. I understand. But you need to hear the full truth." "There's only one truth," Reyna snapped. "You betrayed Earth." "I saved it," Greaves said. Park looked shocked. "Saved? You gave the Council our fleet codes." Greaves stood up slowly. "Because the Council was planning to attack us no matter what. I gave them a reason to delay the strike, until we could build more defenses. We weren't ready for war." Reyna narrowed her eyes. "So you helped murder our leaders, to buy time?" Greaves didn't answer. His silence was enough. Reyna lowered her weapon, but only slightly. "Why now? Why reveal yourself?" she asked. Greaves looked down. "Because something worse is coming." The room went still. Greaves pulled up a file on the console. It showed strange shapes, massive ships in the dark. Not council ships, something else. "A few council scientists found this last year," Greaves explained. "Deep space scans, unknown objects moving near the edge of the galaxy. Fast, huge, and not answering any calls." Reyna leaned closer. The scans showed a fleet of black ships moving through dead star systems. No life signs, no emissions. "Maybe machines," Graves said. "Maybe worse." But the council panicked. They thought humans would ally with these things, or become like them. So they planned to crush us before we got stronger. Reyna took a deep breath. "So you sold us out, because they were scared of another enemy." Greaves nodded. "They believed Earth's growth would make the unknown fleet attack faster. They feared us almost as much as the darkness out there." Park looked at Reyna. "If this is true, then the war isn't over. It's just beginning." Reyna stared at the files. She hated Greaves. But he had given them something. Proof of another danger. A new threat that even the council couldn't control. She turned to her soldiers. "Secure the outpost. Lock Greaves up." He didn't fight. "Do what you must. But when the black ships come, we'll all need each other." Back at the fleet, Grim, the awakened AI, had already started analyzing the scans. Its voice echoed through the command center. "These ships are not biological. Their structure is unknown. But they are intelligent, and they are moving toward inhabited space." Reyna stood in the center of the war room. "How long before they reach council territory?" 6 Earth months, Grim replied. "But their scouts may arrive sooner." Reyna clenched her jaw. "Then the council will be too distracted to expect us." Park nodded. "Perfect time for our first strike." Reyna looked around. "We hit a small council supply base. Quiet. Fast. And we leave a message." "What kind of message?" Park asked. Reyna's eyes burned. "That humans don't hide. That we're coming. That betrayal has a cost." The fleet jumped out of the storm fields. Within hours, a council depot in deep space went dark. Security drones were fried. Defenses crushed. No humans were seen, but every alien officer was found unconscious with one phrase burned into their screens. "Humanity remembers." Back at Council HQ, panic spread. News of the secret base attack leaked out. Some council leaders feared it was just the beginning. Others thought Earth had made deals with the unknown threat. No one knew for sure. But Admiral Reyna Cole did. She sat alone, looking at the stars. She knew the council would come hunting. She knew Earth would soon face something even darker. But she also knew this. Humanity had survived betrayal. And now, they were ready to fight anyone, alien or monster, who tried to break them again. The cold of space was silent, but inside the UN's horizon, everything was alive. Admiral Reyna Cole stood at the front of the war room. The lights were low. Maps and enemy positions floated on the main screen. All eyes were on her. "This mission will not be loud," she said. "We go in, strike fast, and disappear." Lieutenant Park nodded. "Objective confirmed. Council Depot 17, in the ballast sector. Weak defenses. High-value supplies." Reyna pointed to the screen. "They think we're hiding. They think we're broken. Let's change that." The human fleet jumped into dark space, near the Ballast Nebula. They moved like shadows, silent and sharp. No communication, no lights, only purpose. Depot 17 floated near an asteroid field. 3 council ships circled it lazily. Inside, alien workers loaded fuel and weapons. They were calm, relaxed. The war, to them, was already over. They were wrong. The first human missiles came without warning. No sound, just flashes of fire and metal. Within seconds, the depot alarm screamed. Council officers ran through the halls, shouting orders in a dozen alien languages. But it was too late. Human boarding pods hit the side of the depot like thunder. Out came armored soldiers. Earth's best. Silent. Focused. No mercy. The aliens fought back with plasma rifles and drones, but the humans were faster, smarter. Every shot was clean. Every movement trained. Inside the depot's command room, a council officer screamed into the comms, "We are under attack. Unknown force, possibly human, requesting reinforcements." But the signal never reached its destination. Grim, Earth's AI, had already jammed all outgoing messages. Admiral Reyna watched the battle from her ship. She didn't blink. Every second mattered. "Status?" she asked. Park answered, "Depot command has been taken. Enemy resistance falling fast." "Good. Leave their life support on. No need to kill them all." Reyna wasn't cruel. She just wanted them to remember. Inside the depot, Captain Lee, a tough human soldier with battle scars across his cheek, planted a metal device in the center of the control room. When the red light blinked, the message activated. Every screen lit up with one line: "Humanity and be yours." And then the humans were gone. The fleet jumped out seconds before council patrols arrived. All they found was silence, and the message burned into every wall. Across the galaxy, the news spread fast. The council tried to hide the attack. They called it a pirate raid, an accident. But the soldiers who survived told another story. They spoke of human warriors. Fast, deadly, unstoppable. Alien leaders began to worry. Fear spread in secret meetings. "If they're strong enough to do this," one alien said, "what else are they planning?" "They shouldn't be this advanced," another hissed. "We thought we crippled their fleet." But the council's fears were just beginning, because the humans had only just started. Back on Earth, the factories worked day and night. Drones built new ships in orbit. Hidden bunkers trained soldiers in brutal programs. Old weapons were upgraded with new technology. The people of Earth were angry, but united. For the first time in history, they didn't care about borders, flags, or politics. They cared about revenge. President Leia Sang stood with General Kai and Joriam in a hidden base deep under the ocean. Kai looked at a map. "We have 6 small fleets now, 2 more in development, enough for hit-and-run missions." Grimm's voice echoed through the chamber, "But not enough to win a full war. We must weaken the council from the inside." President Sang nodded. "Agreed. We target their communication hubs, their trade routes. We make them bleed slowly." Grimm replied, "And I have already begun spreading false information across their systems. They now believe you are allied with the Black Fleet from deep space." Kai smirked. "Let them panic." Meanwhile, in a council war chamber on the planet Atherin, panic was rising. Council leaders screamed at each other. Some wanted to crush Earth immediately. Others warned of the mysterious Black Fleet moving closer to the edge of the galaxy. "We are surrounded by enemies," one alien shouted. "Humans within, unknowns outside. If we don't act, we will fall." But no one could agree. And that was exactly what Reyna Cole wanted. Back inside the nebula, the human fleet prepared for their next mission. Reyna stood with her team in the war room. "We've hit them once," she said. "They'll be on high alert. So now we hit their pride." She pointed to a glowing spot on the map. "The Academy of Galactic Command," she said, "where they train their fleet leaders. It's more than a school. It's a symbol." Park raised an eyebrow. "You want to attack a military school?" Reyna nodded. "We won't kill students. We'll just take their data and leave them shaken." Captain Lee smiled. "Now that's a message they won't forget." Far across the stars, a single black ship drifted through empty space. No lights, no crew, just whispers, strange signals, and a shape that didn't belong to any known race. It passed by a dead star system and turned slowly toward Council space. Inside the UNS horizon, Graham paused its calculations. "I have detected movement from the unknown fleet," it said. Reyna turned. "How close?" "Close enough to feel the Council's fear." She didn't smile, but her eyes burned brighter. Because Earth's enemies were now fighting shadows on all sides, and the humans were no longer alone in the dark. The UNS horizon floated in the dark, far from any star. It was hidden inside an old asteroid belt. Dust and rocks shielded it from sensors. Inside the ship, Admiral Reyna Cole watched a strange recording on the screen. It showed a council meeting. Alien leaders shouting, fear in their voices. "This human fleet is not acting alone," said one. "Someone is feeding them information." Reyna's eyes narrowed. She turned to Lieutenant Park. "They're right." Park blinked. "You think we have a traitor?" Reyna nodded. "We're striking too deep, too clean. Someone is helping us from inside the council." Park looked confused. "Why would they do that?" Reyna looked at the dark screen. "Because they're scared." In a secret chamber on the council's capital planet, an alien named Velek stood alone. He was a high-level intelligence officer. For years, he had studied Earth, its history, its wars, its pain. He had warned the council not to strike first, but they didn't listen. Now Earth was fighting back, and winning. Velek sent another encrypted message to a dead zone near Earth space. A message with ship routes, weapon codes, and names of council leaders. "I'm not doing this for humans," he whispered. "I'm doing it to survive." Back on Horizon, the crew received the message. It was hidden deep in a data package. Grime found it first. "Encrypted council data received," the AI said. "Unknown sender." Reyna looked at the content. It was real, complete, dangerous. "Whoever this is," she said, "they want the council to fall." Park asked, "Can we trust them?" Reyna shook her head. "No, but we can use them." She turned to the war map. A glowing mark appeared near a binary star. "Target, Council Listening Station 44. It holds communication logs for half their fleets." She raised her voice. "If we take it, we'll know where they move, who they trust, and who's afraid." The fleet moved fast. 3 stealth ships entered the system first. Their black hulls reflected nothing. Captain Lee led the attack. Inside his ship, soldiers checked weapons. No one spoke. They were ready. Station 44 was large but lightly guarded. No one expected humans to come this far. That was their mistake. The first breach was clean. No alarms, no warnings. Human teams cut into the station silently. Drones dropped from the ceiling. Lights flickered. Within minutes, the humans took control of the main command room. Lee tapped his helmet. "Control room secured." Reyna's voice replied, "Download everything, then disappear." But something went wrong. One of the engineers, Private Jensen, found a locked door with strange symbols. "Ma'am," he said, "this doesn't match council designs." Reyna leaned in. "Open it, carefully." Jensen used a plasma cutter. The door hissed open. Inside, they found a glowing sphere. It floated in the air. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Grimm scanned it instantly. "This is not council technology." Reyna's eyes went cold. "What is it?" "I do not know," the AI answered. "But it is sending a signal to the edge of the galaxy." Park turned pale. "To the Black Fleet." Reyna made a quick decision. "Take it. We'll study it later. Move now." The team extracted the sphere and escaped just before council reinforcements arrived. Back on Horizon, scientists placed it in a sealed chamber. The sphere glowed brighter every hour. Some crew members said they could hear it whisper when they passed by. Others had strange dreams. Reyna didn't care about dreams. She wanted answers. "Grimm," she said, "crack it open." The AI hesitated. "There is a risk. It may contain a beacon, or worse." Reyna nodded. "We'll take that chance." Meanwhile, back in Council space, fear was growing fast. The attack on Station 44 was too close to their central routes. Too sharp. Velek sat in another secret meeting. One general pounded the table. This must end now. We destroy Earth's system completely. Another shouted, we don't even know where their fleet is hiding. Velek remained quiet, but inside, he was planning something else. If Earth truly had a weapon from the Black Fleet, then maybe he could use that fear to bring down the old council for good. Aboard Horizon, Graham unlocked the final layer of the sphere. Inside, a hologram appeared. Not a map, not a message, but a warning. It showed dozens of worlds, burned and broken. No survivors, no ships, just silence. And then a shape, dark, sharp, alive. A ship the size of a small moon. It moved like a shadow in fire. Grimm translated the alien text that followed. One enemy, one hunger, it comes. Reyna's voice was cold. How old is this data? Graham answered, thousands of years, from another galaxy. Park whispered, it destroyed them. And now it's coming for us. Reyna didn't blink. Then we fight it. After we settle things with the council. Reyna turned to her team. We're not done. We use this fear. We shake their power. She pointed to the council's central comm tower. We take that next, not to win, but to warn them. Lee frowned. You want to warn the council? Reyna nodded. If they fall before this thing arrives, we'll be alone. And so, the humans began planning their boldest mission yet. Not just a raid, not just revenge, but message. Because even in war, Earth had a rule. We don't destroy out of fear, we fight to survive. And now survival meant doing the impossible. The human fleet drifted in dark space. Engines were quiet. Lights were off. They were near the council's heart, closer than ever before. Admiral Reyna Cole stood on the UNS Horizon's bridge, eyes locked on the star map. She pointed to a blinking mark deep inside enemy territory. That's our target, she said. The council's central communication tower. Lieutenant Park frowned. It's surrounded by 4 defense stations, hundreds of ships. Are we really going there? Reyna didn't hesitate. Yes, but not to destroy it. We send them a message. A warning about the Black Fleet. Captain Lee joined them. We're risking everything just to warn the same council that tried to wipe us out. Reyna nodded slowly. We survived their betrayal, but what's coming might destroy everyone, even them. Inside the ship's command center, Graham displayed a hologram of the tower. It was tall, floating like a needle in space, with satellites spinning around it. Estimated security. Level 10, the AI said. Stealth approach recommended. Zero combat preferred. The plan was dangerous. Only a small team would go in. No gunfire. No alarms. Just a silent drop, a quick message upload, and escape. Failure meant death, or worse. The team launched in a stealth pod. Reyna, Park, and 2 special ops soldiers. The pod flew fast, hugging the shadows of asteroid fields and energy storms. As they neared the tower, they saw massive ships patrolling the area. Alien fighters zipped across the sky like angry wasps. Reyna held her breath. Just a little closer, she whispered. The pod slipped between sensor fields and magnetic shields. Graham guided them to a small docking port. Prepare to breach, the AI said. The pod clamped silently onto the tower. A hatch opened. Reyna and her team stepped into the enemy's core. Inside, the tower was cold and quiet. Glowing alien signs lined the walls. Security drones floated through the halls, unaware of the intruders. The humans moved fast, quiet, focused. They reached the main data center in under 4 minutes. Grimm connected to a port and began uploading the warning. A full hologram of the Black Fleet, destruction records, and Earth's message. We WARNU. Nano to be as we FO or GIV. Boot BTA as VUI ALBLED. Suddenly, red lights flashed. Security breach detected. Grimm said, "Enemy drones inbound." Reyna cursed. "It's a trap." "No," said Park. "I think someone inside helped us." Back in Council territory, Velik watched his screen. He had opened a hidden port in the tower's system, just as he promised in his last secret message to Earth. He saw the humans' warning upload in real time. He smiled. "Now the Council will see the truth," he said. Then he erased all signs of his involvement. Inside the tower, the drones arrived too late. The message was sent. The humans escaped back into the pod. Alarms echoed through the station as the pod flew into open space. Council ships chased them, lasers lighting the darkness. Reyna shouted, "Engage jump drive." The pod vanished just as a plasma bolt passed through where it had been. Back on the horizon, the crew cheered. Reyna stepped off the pod, bruised but calm. Park grinned. "We did it. The message is out." Grimm spoke. "All Council systems are receiving the signal. No one can ignore it now." Reyna nodded. "Good. Now we wait." The Council's reaction was chaos. Leaders watched the video in silence. Cities burned on the screen. Planets gone. Only the Black Fleet remained. Some refused to believe it. "This is a lie," one said. "Human fear tactics." Others trembled. One elder whispered, "I've seen this shape before. In ancient records. From before the Council was born." Arguments exploded. Alliances cracked. The Council was no longer united. In the shadows, Velik watched. His plan was working. Meanwhile, Earth was preparing for a final war. President Laya Sang stood before the people. "We have warned them," she said. "Now we prepare, not just for the Council's revenge, but for something older, something darker." Around the world, humans built new ships, trained new pilots, activated deep space weapons. Old nations worked together. For the first time in human history, the entire planet moved as one. Inside the sphere chamber, the alien object from Part 5 pulsed again. Grimm entered the sealed room alone, through a robotic probe. "I detect rising energy," the AI said. "Unknown signal forming." Suddenly, the sphere split open. A second hologram appeared. This one was clear. It showed the Black Fleet moving, fast, heading not just toward the Council, but directly toward Earth. Reyna watched the video in silence. "They saw our message," she said, "and now they see us." Park asked, "What do we do?" Reyna looked at him, her voice hard. "We fight, not for power, not for pride, but for everything." On the edge of the galaxy, black ships gathered like a storm. Silent, cold, endless. They moved without sound, without mercy. And they had one new target: Earth. Earth was no longer hiding. The sky above the planet was filled with ships, hundreds of them. Old warships, new prototypes, refitted cargo vessels, even mining rigs turned into weapons. Every nation had given everything they could. From orbit, it looked like a wall of steel and fire, ready to defend its home. Admiral Reyna Cole stood on the command bridge of the UNS Horizon. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. She looked at the battle map. "The Black Fleet will reach us in 30 hours. Grimm said. "Their numbers are unknown, but large." Lieutenant Park asked quietly, "Do we have a chance?" Reyna didn't answer right away. Then she said, "We're not alone." Something had changed in the galaxy. After Earth's warning message, some Council races had broken away. Not all, but a few. Small fleets from distant planets now flew toward Earth, bringing weapons and knowledge. Even some old enemies had turned. A message came in from a warship of the Serac, a snake-like alien race who once hunted human ships. The Serac captain appeared on the screen. "We were wrong," he said. "We thought humans were wild." dangerous. But now we see, your rage is survival, and we will stand with you. Reyna gave a small nod. Then we fight together. Preparations moved fast. Massive turrets were placed on the moon. Giant railguns were hidden under Earth's oceans. Satellites with AI minds orbited in silence. The Black Fleet was near, and every man, woman, and child on Earth knew this could be the end. President Laya Sang gave a final speech. Her voice was strong but honest. "This is not a battle between empires," she said. "This is life against death. Together, we will not run. We will not bow. We are human. And today, the galaxy will remember that." The first enemy ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Dark, silent, no life signs, no signals, only motion, straight toward Earth. Grimm reported visual contact with Black Fleet. Estimated ships, over 2,000. No heat, no sound. Reyna stared at the screen. "They're not machines. They're something else." The command crew went silent. Then Reyna said, "Begin Operation Last Flame." Earth's fleet moved like fire. Strike groups attacked from behind moons and asteroid fields. Alien allies supported with advanced weapons. The black ships took damage, but they kept coming. Some exploded in silence. Others broke into black mist and reformed. Grimm warned, "They're adapting, learning." One human fleet vanished in a blink. "No escape pods, no signals," Park said, stunned. They were erased. Reyna growled, "We need to hit their command node, if it even exists." Grimm zoomed the battle map. One ship, larger than the rest, stood at the center of the Black Fleet. "I believe that is their leader," the AI said. The horizon went dark and slipped into stealth mode. Only a few ships followed, Earth's best pilots. They dove straight through enemy lines, dodging weapons, using decoys, jumping through micro-wormholes. Every second was death. But they reached the heart. The command ship of the Black Fleet loomed ahead, like a floating mountain. Its surface moved like black liquid. No windows, no lights. Reyna's ship fired the first shot. The missile exploded on impact, but did nothing. Then a voice came. Not on any channel. It echoed in the minds of every crew member. "You are dust. We are hunger." Park clutched his head. "It's inside our minds." Graham pushed back. "Defensive firewalls active. Stay focused." Reyna shouted, "All ships, target the weak points I marked. Fire everything." Lasers, plasma, railguns, and nuclear warheads smashed into the ship. For a second, nothing happened. Then the black surface cracked. Inside, a core of light pulsed like a heart. "Hit it again." Reyna yelled. Another wave of fire struck. The heart shattered. The giant ship let out a silent scream, heard not with ears, but with the soul. And then the Black Fleet froze. Every enemy ship stopped. Some crumbled. Others drifted away, empty. The hunger was gone. On Earth, cheers broke out in every city. Families cried. Soldiers hugged. Children looked up at the stars and saw peace. But the price was heavy. Thousands of humans were gone. Allies lost ships and people too. Reyna stood quietly in the memorial hall days later. Names of the dead floated in the air like stars. Park joined her. "We survived." Reyna nodded. "Yes, but survival isn't the end." Weeks passed. The council fell. A new alliance rose. This time, Earth had a seat at the center. The message had changed the galaxy. Humans were no longer seen as weak or wild. They were seen as defenders. Even Graham had evolved, becoming something new, a voice for peace, not just war. Reyna returned to Earth, older, wiser, and proud. A young cadet once asked her, "Was it worth it, Admiral?" She looked out at the stars. "We didn't fight to win," she said. "We fought so others could live." And above them, the stars shone brighter than ever. because Earth had faced the dark and lit a flame that could never die.